Morning traders, welcome to the live trading room. I hope you are all well this morning. Apologies for the late post of the live trading room. We had a bit of issue with connections earlier on, so I'm solo now in the trading room today. Let's get through all the pairs. We'll start with the US dollar pairs, then we'll end with the cryptocurrencies. Let's have a look at the DXY first. The DXY is currently showing continuation to the upside with this 4-hour setup. Now remember what we're looking at here in the bigger structure on the DXY on the daily. We're looking for a reversal, and we said that the DXY structure will be invalidated because that is the blue box area. We're now trading above the blue box, and I'm going to take this one off. Our invalidation area for this is around 96.58. That is the invalidation for this structure to play out. If we touch this area, that means that is the end of this move, and we're going to change the structure. So we're seeing continuation to the upside, that this is being supported by the indicator. Looking for this to come around this level. And if we take this level here, that is our invalidation for that level, and then we're going to change the structure for that. So looking at the 4-hour, you can see that the indicators are setting up for a continuation to the upside. If you look at the 4-hour chart here, so there's the 4-hour chart. Our chart, this is going to continue to the upside. What does that mean for the euro? That means the euro is going to see continuation to the downside. So let's have a look at the euro here. Looking at the euro is exactly the same thing, a setup for continuation to the downside. Look at this here, below 50 and resetting at the top. So we're going to see more downside. Also, the euro will be moving towards the invalidation level of that bigger corrective structure. Now we see continuation to the upside, to the downside, rather, and that there is no indication of a reversal. And what we're seeing only here is the bigger structure. Let's have a look at the bigger structure here. The bigger structure, which we are now looking at to be invalidated, is 1, 2, 3 here. Now this is invalidation. We've already plotted this invalidation level at 1.2 as follows. This is 1, this is 2, and then here. Now the validation level is here at 1219. We're very close to that level. As you can see, we've got our 4-hour setup here, and the drop around this level is an invalidation of that whole structure. We'll be monitoring that, looking at that as it plays out. Now, pound US dollar. Here and the instruments that we've got. Let's have a look at pound US dollar. You gotta love this new website. I like it. It's so seamless. Works easy for me as well. Let's have a look at the pound US dollar. All right, so pound US dollar, I'm going to look at the bigger structure and the lower degree here. Now, looking at the latest New York chart, rather, I will have to look at the London, the latest London chart. This is earlier on this morning. We're looking for pound US dollar to give us this structure here like that. So we've been looking at that structure from the beginning of the week. Let's see how that is playing out. Let's have a look at pound US dollar. Pound US dollar, let's have a look here, 4-hour. Right, 4-hour. Now, just like the euro, pound is showing us downside here. We've got the 3-wave structure that we're looking at. We were looking for this to be deeper than what it is right now. As you can see here, we've gone up in 3 waves and we've got a 4-hour setup on our pound. Let's have a look at it. So this is a 3-hour setup. So the possibility for this one was for this to also make this as a double. There's a possibility for a double here, which is the structure that we're looking at. If we don't get that double, that means we're going to have consolidation here and we're going to see pound continue to the downside. 4-hour is showing us a setup for downside, for continuation to the downside. So pound US dollar is showing us downside, and the 4-hour close, candle close below the low of the flag means we are going to see downside. That means continuation of the US dollar strength, and we're going to see pound US dollar continue lower like that. Now, what is the bigger structure here? The bigger structure on pound US dollar is that we were looking for this one to give us one more up here before we push to the downside. So far we're currently still pushing here a little bit lower. So then, as I've indicated during the week and for over the last couple of days, that pound has already tagged this level, has already tagged the low here. So this structure, even if pound US dollar starts dropping here and you get a setup for downside, you should take that setup for downside, because that structure is can be complete even if there's a possibility for one more up. So a 4-hour setup like this on pound US dollar, you can actually take as a trade setup wait for the confirmation according to the strategy. Okay, so let's have a look at the daily here and check what the RSI is showing us on the daily as far as pound is concerned. Remember, for us to confirm a trend reversal, our daily structure must be below 50, and as it is here, it is under 50. So that means any trade in the direction of in downside direction, that because we are under 50, you can look to take that trade. So look for that setup there in that level. Even if we are expecting this structure, confirmation here means we're going down. Right, so that is pound US dollar. US dollar CAD still continues to the upside. We're looking for downside there. We're not getting that reversal in the structure. So let's see here. So what is the possibility here? Could this be making a bigger expanding flat? Because this is going up impassively. We were looking for US dollar CAD to go up here correctively as follows. So we're looking for this to go correctively like that, but there's a possibility that this could be making a structure like this. That is a move up here, and we could be getting another move, another move, another move. That would be a move like this. Let's play it out like that. 1, 2, 3. And we have like a move like that. A move like that. Okay. So that is how we're looking at US dollar CAD. So this, we may see a bit of a pullback and a continuation to the upside, and we'll get this bigger corrective structure before eventually we get the drop there. So that's how we'll be looking at US dollar CAD. So let's watch this one push to the upside. A pullback, we'll see one more up, and then we'll then look for more downside. Okay, so that is a US dollar CAD. Let's have a look at US dollar Chief. Okay, so US dollar Chief is consolidating for more upside as well. Okay, we're looking for this one to drop, but you can see what the indicator is telling us. It's telling us that we still have more upside here. And the possible structure on this one, as we've been showing, is this one here. We're looking at this one to be a running flat here, running flat. 1, 2, 3. We are pushing up higher. We could push up to this level, and we'll be playing out this bigger corrective structure as follows. Okay, so that is a US dollar Chief. Look for a continuation to the upside. Audi New Zealand, rather Audi US dollar, not New Zealand, Audi US dollar will obviously show some weakness. We'll be looking for a pullback to get an entry for more downside. Looks like we're going to break lower here, but the structure is this one. The structure that we're breaking out of is this one. A break below this, a pullback in 3, we'll see this continue to the downside. So that will invalidate that move to the upside. So this is showing us that the US dollar strength is still prevalent across the market. Right, New Zealand US dollar, similarly, we were looking for New Zealand US dollar to start pushing up higher from that. But as you can see, there's nothing that confirms that move. We've got the 3-wave pullback here, that is a structure. We also have this one having come down here in 3 waves. So we'll be looking for this one to come down as well, possibly 3 waves as well. So it is coming down correctively, WXY corrective structure. So if this can continues to push to the downside and you get an entry opportunity, you look to take it to the downside. That is New Zealand, right? So those are the US dollar pairs. And then we've got US dollar ZAR. Okay, US dollar ZAR, we're looking for a diagonal here. Will it still play out this diagonal? Let's keep an eye on that. Is that the wave 5? Remember, the wave 5 can overshoot. Let's see if this is just simply going to be a wave 5 that is going to overshoot here, and we'll watch this move here. Let's check here, because we can have this structure like this. You can have this as a correction, this as a correction, and having had that, and you can have this. All of this making a WXY corrective structure. So far, we just want to see if we're going to have a reversal on that boundary of that flag there on the US dollar ZAR. Right, US dollar yen is showing us downside on the daily. Look at this. This is on the daily. Although this is not resetted, this is still showing us downside. We're looking for this one to pull back. Remember, I said if you do get a setup for a sell here, on the daily you are below 50. So if you get a setup for a sell on the 4-hour, you can look to take that. Let's have a look at the 4-hour. So if we've got a setup on the 4-hour, we've got a nice setup on the 4-hour. So pound, US dollar, you can look to take this at current levels. That is a 4-hour setup there. Okay, we just, that candle is, as soon as that candle closes below the low of the flag, that is a setup for downside. Look at that. So if you look at the 4-hour, the daily, you saw the RSI is below 50. Here we've got a nice 4-hour setup here as follows. All indications are that as soon as that candle closes below the low of the flag, then you've got a trade to the downside as far as pound yen is concerned. Okay, so that's what we have there on pound yen. Look for more downside. Okay, right. We are the US dollar yen pairs. Right, then we've got US dollar yen. So US dollar yen, will it make this structure? There's a possibility of this structure. We were looking for this to just go up in a straight line, but there is this structure here, which will not change the structure. It just means that we've got this, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 is a possibility here. And if you see the pound US dollar is pushing lower, you can expect that this will push lower as well from current levels. So expect US dollar yen to also push lower at current levels. Okay, so that's what we have there on US dollar yen. We're looking for this one to continue lower here. We've got a 4-hour setup. If you look at that, let's look at that. The setup on the 4-hour on US dollar yen is not as good as what we have on pound, because this one has not reset at the top. But looking at this, you could make a case for this one to have made a move around this level. That is US dollar yen. Right, looks like it's a bloodbath on the yen press. They continue to push lower. All right, so let's have a look here. Euro yen daily chart. Let's have a look at the daily of euro. We are still looking for this one to complete this structure. We're anticipating that we may get a corrective structure there before we get to those levels. So we've got that. We have got this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're looking for this one to give us a pullback here before pushing lower. But the euro will continue to push lower at these levels. Audi yen, same. Audi yen, you'll be looking for this structure. 1, 2. We look for this one to come down here. Look for Audi yen to come down. So any pullback here in 3 waves, an opportunity for this to go to the downside. So look at the pair yen pairs like that. If you see those pullbacks, they'll be giving an opportunity for downside. This looks like it's making a continuation to the upside. This is New Zealand now, but based on what the other yen pairs are doing, I expect this to continue lower as well, like this. So we're looking for this to be an expanding flat only around this level. We look for upside. Look at this, they're still above 50, but we can still continue to the downside. CAD yen, same. Expect this to continue to the downside. That's a move down. That's a move up in 3. We'll expect this to come down like this. That is a CAD yen. Gold. Gold has been consolidating at current levels for some time. We're expecting this to break out of this and continue to the upside. As it is, the RSI is well above 50, although this is at the top. That doesn't matter now. Let's have a look at the 4-hour chart here. Now, looking at the 4-hour chart, let's see what gold is building up there. Seems to be a setup here on gold. When this structure is complete, we should see gold push to the upside. It's currently just going sideways. We'll expect that above this level, we see gold continue to push to the upside. Right, so this, I don't know why my silver is there. That means we also do not look at chief. So that is gold. Let's have a look at chief. Right, chief yen, same. As you can see, 4-hour setup, textbook 4-hour setup here on chief yen. All right, so chief yen also pushing lower. Then you've got euro pushing lower. So all the yen pairs are pushing lower. So you can look to take one of those. All right. So what do we have there? Let's see silver. Silver is also consolidating for more upside. That corrective structure is still intact. This is the corrective structure here on silver. A break above this, we'll see this one push a little bit higher. And that's what we're expecting on silver. Continuation to the upside to see the same move as gold. Platinum. So platinum, since we got the trade set up at this level here, we had a gold, we had a blue box set up on platinum here, expecting it to continue to push to the upside. It looks to be going up pretty correctively as well. Pretty correctively, so much that when this structure is done, whether this is going as a WXYZ, when this structure is done, we should see platinum come down. Okay, our trade setup was here. We're looking for this one to push up higher, but it's pulling back here. So let's see how this goes. So a break below this one here, we're gonna have to look at the corrective structure here and see more downside, possibly back to this level. That is a platinum Brent crude oil. Looking for this to bounce off the blue box, still has not done so. We're still looking at this one to be a corrective structure here. Corrective structure. If we're going to come down here in the 4 hours, still showing us that we're going to see downside. So we're going to see this one come down around these levels. That's only then that we'll expect a reversal. Right. That is what we have there on Brent crude. The yen pairs are dropping, guys. That's the expectation. The yen pairs. Yesterday, we expected pound Audi to drop, but simply because pound New Zealand was confirming downside. So we've got this move around this level. We've got the RSI still above 50, so we don't necessarily have an opportunity to sell this one for this structure to play out. It looks like here it's a continuation pattern for more upside, but I'm not going to be interested in this one at this stage. What I was interested in was pound New Zealand yesterday. So we look at pound New Zealand from yesterday. Right. So what we're interested in is pound New Zealand. Let's have a look at pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand yesterday, we got this one from the blue box. So from the blue box, I don't know why we've got this one here. So this was here from the blue box yesterday. We're looking for this to continue to the downside. So that move will still play out. Look at this one here. We don't have a setup on the 4 hour, but we should have one in the 1 hour. I'm gonna go down to the 1 hour now. So low, so low. We looked at this one. I expected everybody to take this one yesterday from the blue box. So 4 hour, no setup, as you can see. In fact, we've got this one still above 50. So we want to see here on the 4 hour. Let's see on the 4 hour if we can have that one dropping as expected. Does the 1 hour have a setup for this one to push lower? This is still below 50, however. So this structure here, let's have a look at this structure closely. Show what the possibilities are on this. Look at closely on this one. We are building a corrective structure. You've got this 1, you've got this 2, you've got this 3 here. A push to the upside here on pound New Zealand may just be a structure like this. Then we see downside. Then the blue box would have played out. Then we've got another opportunity. And then we look for this one to push lower. Right, that is what we have on pound New Zealand. Pound CAD, expected this to continue to be bearish, but we are seeing a 3-wave pullback there. Let's go back to the 4 hour. So the expectation for this to be bearish was based on this one having made a 3-wave pullback here. But we need to wait for this one to drop below 50% as far as the daily RSI is concerned. The daily RSI is still above 50, so you don't want to take the trade before the daily RSI is above 50. Right, what is playing out is expected yesterday. Pound chief, we're looking for this one to continue to the downside. That is a move that we can see that is confirmed. You can see we are dropping below 50, and that was the expectation there. And we'll expect pound chief to continue lower. All right. Pound ZAR, we're looking for Euro pound. Euro pound, we were looking for, not pound ZAR, Euro pound, looking for Euro pound. Euro pound, bearish. Bearish here. Even if we do get a move around that level, we'll see this one continue lower. That is what we're going to expect there on Euro pound. Euro Audi. Euro Audi, we're going to expect this one to drop below 50 here. Then we'll expect this one to continue to the downside. That is Euro Audi. Expect continuation to the downside. Euro New Zealand, just like pound New Zealand, we are bearish. Although this is now showing some divergence, We want to see this one do that. Okay, so that is Europe, New Zealand, EuroCAD. EuroCAD also showing continuation to the downside. Look at that there. We've got the structure pulling back. We've got the RSI below 50. We've got the reset here. So no surprise that we see this one continue lower like this. Right. EuroCAD. EuroChief rather. Just like Pound Chief, continuation to the downside. We wanted this to give us a pullback for an entry. We did not get an opportunity for that. So we still look for that to continue lower. Those are the euros. Let's go to the crosses. Looking at the crosses. Audi New Zealand. We wanted to see Audi New Zealand do this. It has pulled back in this fashion. It's come down here. There's a possibility that it comes around this level. So let's see what happens when you get to this level here. Audi CAD. Expect continuation to the downside here, even if it is to the short term around this level. Then we'll expect this one to bounce up like this. To give us this structure. That is an Audi CAD. Still sideways. Audi Chief, as expected as well. Look for this one to at least take this low here. Possibility for a bounce before dropping. New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD. We have got this structure here that has done this 3 waves here. We've come down in this level. We are pulling back with this structure, so we'll be looking for this to come down. So you don't ignore the spike, it's part of the structure. Consider the spikes as well. Yes, nice setup here on the 4-hour on New Zealand Chief. So eventually this has made a 3-wave corrective structure. We're looking for this one to drop. This is set up here on the 4-hour. The 4-hour candle closing above that level. We'll see this continue lower. So look for this 4-hour candle, the current 4-hour candle, to close below the low of the flag. Then you can look to take the trade, put the stop above the flag as follows. CAD Chief. CAD Chief has made a continuation pattern here, 3 waves, expanding flat, and expecting this one to continue to the downside after having made that structure. Right, that is CAD Chief, and those are the Forex pairs, the yen pairs. Nothing new on the indices, guys. Nothing new on the indices, except that there was a possibility for a flat here, but it doesn't look likely that we're going to have those flats. We're just going to have these in straight lines, and we're going to see continuation to the upside. There's just no analysis when it comes to impulsive moves like this. Just expect continuation to the upside as long as you keep getting those setups for upside. We're going to see more upside on the S&P 500. We're going to see more upside on the Dow Jones Industrial. The Dow Jones has actually just made the 3-hour structure that we expected yesterday. We'll be looking for this one to continue to push and give us one more up there. The NASDAQ, let's have a look at the NASDAQ. Looking at the NASDAQ, still looking for this to give us this as a wave 5. This looks like wave 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking for a wave 5 to the upside around those levels. That is the NASDAQ UK 100. Okay, as you mentioned, UK 100 will start pushing to the downside. Any setup for downside on the UK 100, look to take it up to the downside, because we have been looking at this divergence for a while. So just to show you, we've been talking about this divergence and the RSI. As flat as it is, we did say that this does not support a continuation of the move to the upside. Instead, this will tell you when this reverses. That is what we've got there as far as divergence is concerned. And the DAX should see a bit of a move to the upside before we get a pullback, a deeper pullback at that. Nikkei will continue to push to the upside. Will this be a leading diagonal as we've been anticipating for some time? So we'll be monitoring that to see if we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Okay, so that's what we have there on the Nikkei. And lastly, the Nifty has been playing out this structure here beautifully. Still in play. This is the 3 waves down, 3 waves up. Looking for this to give us another 3 waves down before any move to the upside resumes. Right, so those are the Forex pairs. Let's have a look at the cryptocurrencies. Very interesting on the cryptocurrencies. Quite a significant drop on Bitcoin. So there's a number of possibilities. Let's look at the current possibility on Bitcoin. So we said that if Bitcoin retests this level, there's a possibility we consolidate here and push to the upside, just like Solana did. But you can see that this one did not track Solana. It has actually made 3 down, 3 up, and it looks like 5 to the downside. And if this is the case, we will see this push to the upside and see new highs on Bitcoin. So we'll be watching that. Let's see how that plays out. Ethereum. Ethereum has made what looks like a 1, a 2, and a 3. Are we going to get Ethereum resuming the move to the upside? We are seeing some divergence here between this. So we may have started the move to the upside on Ethereum. Let's keep an eye on it. Litecoin. 3-wave move as well. That's a 3-wave move, a zigzag with an extended wave C. Let's see if we're going to get a reversal at those levels. XRP. So XRP. Now with XRP, look at this structure. We've got 3 down, we've got 3 up. Looks like a textbook setup here. Mass is getting skewed here. Let's draw it clearly because this is structure, very clear structure here on XRP. And the structure is this 1, 2, 3. Look at that textbook 3 waves there. Textbook 3 waves. We'll be looking for another completion of that textbook 3 waves so that Ripple can start pushing to the upside as follows. As follows. Doge. Similar to Ripple, Dogecoin is making a structure like this 1, 2, 3. You may even take the low here, then we'll see downside. Why is that structure? This here and this there. All right, that is Dogecoin ADA. ADA, no clear pattern for now. We're looking for this one to have made 3 waves here. It looks like we've made this here, 1, 2, 3, and looks like ADA is going to make another purple 1, 2, 3. And Solana. Solana is pretty interesting because we may be resuming a move to the upside here. And while with the rest of the cryptos are showing, looking negative, Solana is showing positivity. We've got a 3-wave pullback. We're expecting this one to continue to push to the upside from current levels. So let's see, let's wait for that reversal. Let's wait for that area. This is a blue box area. We'll be waiting for that reaction in that area. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you on Sunday. Have a great week. Cheers. Bye-bye.